Sorry. Good evening. Welcome to the Newman Crows Landing Unified School District Board of Education meeting. May I please have Jasmine and Victoria come up? And may I please have everybody stand?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. My arms aren't long enough. I have something to report out of closed session. Fact-finding hearing conducted by administrative review in case number 23-24/01. Motion by board member Tim Bazar and seconded by board member Don Cabral. Student number 21343 shall be expelled from the schools of the district for the remainder of the fall and spring semester for the 2000 to 2024 school year. It is further recommended that student 21343 may apply for enrollment in the Newman Crows Landing Unified School District at the beginning of the 2024-2025 school year. All board members voted for it, but Mr. Rivas abstained. Public communication, agenda, and non-agenda items. Any person wishing to comment on agenda and non-agenda items may do so. Please step to the podium and state your name. It would be appreciated if you would limit your comments to 3 minutes. California law prohibits the school board from taking action on any matter which is not on the posted agenda unless it is determined to be an emergency by the board. Per board policy BB 9323, individual speakers may be allowed 3 minutes to address the board on each agenda or non-agenda item. The board may limit the total time for public input on each item to 20 minutes. With board consent, the president may increase or decrease the time allowed for public presentation, depending on the topic and the number of persons wishing to be heard. The president may take a poll of speakers for or against a particular issue and may ask that the additional persons speak only if they have something new to add. Do I have anyone that would like to come to and address the board? Thank you. May I have a motion to approve the agenda?
I'll make a motion to approve it. I'll second.
Mr. Bazar?
Aye.
Mr. Cabral? Mrs. Hurst?
Aye.
Mr. Rivas?
Aye.
Mrs. Conforti votes aye, pass 5-0. Information discussion items. Student representative Grace Stutter is going to give us a report.
Okay. A new student club was passed. It's the AAPI Club, which stands for the Asian American Pacific Islander Club. The purpose of this club is to bring together the Asian American, and Pacific Islander community at Simba High School through socializing, activism, and enlighten anyone who's interested. Their first meeting will be on November 15th. Student Council will be putting on the OHS Senior Prom on May 4th. The theme is still to be announced. The band room has been repainted, and leadership will be working on painting murals onto the band room very soon. On October 31st, 8 members of Newman FFA, including 2 advisors, left to attend the National Convention in Indianapolis, Indiana, where they did many fun things, which included touring Indianapolis Speedway, Beasley's Apple Orchard, visiting Churchill Downs, Louisville Slugger Museum and Factory, and going to a few sessions put on by National FFA, where they watched Newman's very own Rebecca Mendoza watched the stage receiving her American degree, which is a degree awarded to FFA members who've demonstrated the highest level of commitment to FFA. They came back on November 4th. Our new hall pass system, Minga, went into full effect last Monday. It's a campus management platform for school safety and engagement. Students must create a Minga pass and get that pass approved through their teacher to use the restroom. They also must leave their phone behind. If a student needs to go see another teacher or counselor, they must get the pass approved through their teacher and the faculty member they are going to see. Ms. Jellin will be pushing out a survey to gather feedback on this new system. The OHS girls have their first basketball foundation game this Wednesday, and the OHS football team has their section final football game against Ripon Christian this Friday. And football has never made it this far in playoffs, so come support if you can.
Thank you, Grace. May I please have the Miss Lassini bring up our spelling bee?
Standing School District for the spelling bee. Thank you to the parents who were able to bring the students today. Michaela Garza. Rolando Garcia. Aaron de la Cruz. Alex Oliver and Martin Oliveros. A great job to the students who represented the Newman Crow Standing School District at the spelling bee for the county. Yes, and we had over 20 participants, and these were the ones that made it to the county level.
Mr. Gonzalez. Oh, Mr. Coe. Sorry.
Oh, that's okay. I can go after Mr. Gonzalez if
No.
you prefer. That's fine. Okay.
I do have Mr. May we flip? May I do Mr. Gonzalez first?
If, of course.
Because this one is
Yeah.
on my agenda, right? No, Mr. Cope, I apologize. We'll have Mr. Gonzalez in there. Thank you.
Sorry, coach. You know, you're in front of you or nothing.
We'll give Mr. Cope a
Okay,
report.
so for our attendance awards this month, we have, let's see. So for our staff award goes to Bonita.
Ah. My eyes screwed in.
Okay, and for our least chronic aptism and our ADA award both go to Von Renner. So come on, Mr. Cope. Yeah, I know, I know.
Thank you, Mr. Gonzalez. Now, Mr. Cope, see twice up in a row.
Right. Well, thank you. Wait till Edward's ready here. Well, good evening, everyone. We're happy to highlight a few of the wonderful things happening at Von Renner Elementary. As we strive to focus on student attendance, which very We're very lucky to get the awards tonight, so that's awesome. We focus on the team and group approach. 100% attendance posters are placed in rooms with perfect attendance daily. Weekly, we celebrate grade level leaders for attendance by posting leaders for that week. In other words, if a first grade, we have 4 classes per grade level. If a first grade class is the highest percentage that week, they get notified and they get put on our wall near the playground so everybody can see it. Monthly, we have prizes for 2 classrooms, TK2 division and 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade. So far, we've had 2 parties, a Lego party and a slime party. On the left side, you see the kindness squad there. They were out in action today for our kindness day, and they will greet students on Fridays saying Happy Friday and getting the parents to honk their horns as they come up to Von Renner. So they're a great group. In TK, you'll see a common theme between the slides from TK and first grade. All visited the OHS FFA pumpkin patch. Also we see students working on sorting and placing results on a chart. Kinder DLI, you see the pumpkin patch theme and the center picture, students with their Halloween costumes under the balloon arch made by Miss Dalia Santana, one of our student teachers in the 3rd grade DLI classroom, Mrs. Granados' classroom. Our Kinder EO, following the pumpkin patch theme, you see students in the photo prop on their visit, which I thought was a great thing that the FFA did for the students to take pictures. They all love taking pictures. First grade DLI on the field trip enjoy lunch together at the picnic tables. And that might not seem like a big thing, but many of the students said having lunch at the picnic tables on the field trip was one of the favorite things that they did. In this slide, class pet Fluffy Tarantula is featured for room 10 up in the left-hand corner. Many of you know the first Fluffy that was, this is Fluffy too. Okay. 2nd grade DLI on the left, Mrs. Marikine's class displays their loved ones for Dia de los Muertos. And on the right, Mrs. Zarate's class is working on measurement and math. 2nd grade English only, you see students working on math concepts, displaying art for Dia de los Muertos, and also in the right-hand side, honoring Red Ribbon Week. 3rd grade DLI, we have Mrs. Granados' class on the left is working on math fluency using music and chants and cadence, excuse me. On the right, Mr. Serrato's students display a representation of themselves with their writing based on Martin Luther King's I Have a Dream speech. 3rd grade English only. On the left, you see students reading to their TK Kinder buddies, 3rd grade students going there and practice their reading to the younger students. And also on the right, displaying their monster arrays as a foundation for multiplication. Our 4th grade DLI classes use our garden to collaborate on a group science project to develop social skills and also teamwork. See them there in the garden. Our 4th and 5th grade classes went on a field trip to the Monterey Bay Aquarium. So you're going to see a lot of common things here. You see Miss Henrique's class and Mrs. Ross's class posing for photos there at the aquarium. In 5th grade DLI, Mrs. Angel's class works together on a science and team building project and activities there. On the left, you see Mrs. Perez's class at the aquarium as well. 5th grade EO. This is another picture of the aquarium, but what was great about this was that many of these students, this was their first time seeing the ocean. And they came back with lots of stories about that, and they were just in awe of not just the aquarium, but just actually seeing the ocean. That was pretty incredible. Our counselor's corner here, our counselor update, Mr. Daniel Aguilar is our counselor. We can see some of the great things that Mr. Aguilar is doing at Von Renner. On the left, upper left, you see he does classroom presentations. Lower left is the county events that we we pay for through our LCAP funds, because that was one of the things that came up in our LCAP this year, that parents wanted lunchtime activities for their students. In the center, you see some recess activities, Red Ribbon Week, Lunch Bunch, and Unity Day. Now we have two students, Yasmin Vera and Victoria Herrera, to give you a student's view of Von Renner. Come on up, girls.
Hi, my name is Victoria Herrera, and I'm a fifth grade student at Von Renner in Miss Angel's class. Some of the reasons why I like coming to Von Renner are the following. I enjoy learning and the classroom rewards like eating with my teacher and lunch bunch. I also enjoy how the kindness squad greets you in the morning. I also like school festivities, for example, the Harvest Carnival and Dia de los Muertos or Day of the Dead. The last thing I enjoy at Von Renner are the fun projects that the teachers have planned for us and that help me learn. Von Renner is the best school to learn at. Thank you. Hi, my name is Yasmin Vera, and I'm a fourth grade student at Von Renner in Miss Tovar's class. Some of the reasons why I like the DLI program at Von Renner are because you can learn English and Spanish. In the DLI program, you also learn how to read and write in both languages. Another reason why I like the DLI program is because you learn about different cultures and important people, such as Frida Kahlo, Cesar Chavez, and Jose Hernandez. All of my teachers have taught me something new each year. I love the DLI program at Von Renner because it teaches me all important things that will help me in the future. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We'll answer any questions if you have any. Okay. Thank you.
I just like to compliment the young ladies. Their writing in your stories were very good, very interesting. And you're articulate. Yes. And thank you, Mr. Popoy. We're going to have an update on the bond survey.
Yes, good evening. Received a draft copy of the proposed survey from Del Scott's office over the weekend. And it's structured to kind of check the climate for offering 2 elections versus just offering 1. So once we give some feedback, we didn't have any, Mr. Philpott and I reviewed it this morning. His office said if you would like a copy, they're going to email me a clean version of the draft. I'd be happy to send it to you for any feedback, and in about a week we'd like to have that back so that they can wrap it up. We don't have an exact timeline for when the survey will go out. They're looking to get a survey of about 300 participants more or less, but we should have results after the first of the year to let us know what the next step will be. If you'd like to have that emailed out, just let me know and I'll send it to you.
Thank
Okay.
you, Mrs. Mendoza. I'd like to. Okay, next we have Borston High School Gymnasium and.
I think we have Susan Mattis is gonna speak to that.
Hello.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for having us here. There are a few members of our committee. Angie Mack, come on up here. And in addition to those, Jessica Gonzalez, and of course, Carrie's daughter, Casey, and Justin was also a member of this committee. And so, I came to speak to you a couple of times already. So I'm getting kind of used to this now. I'm kind of liking this. No, just kidding. So we've met several times, and all of this information has gone through the family. I've had discussion with Mr. Philpott, with Justin, and also with Matt concerning this this project, as we call it. It is a project. And so we are looking at it in a few different phases. You have with you a couple of or 3 designs for the sign. In meeting with City Signs themselves, they came out and kind of guided us through some placement on the building. And thank God for Matt, because he said, no, you can't do that. It's going to cost you extra money. So we said no. So pretty much the sign company and also Casey and Kathy, we all had the consensus that this side of the wall, the east side of the wall facing into the parking lot, would be the most visible to everyone. And I understand that there's possibility of you're changing your entrance into the gymnasium and all of those things, but we still felt that this, the signage on the east wall would be the nicest, and the most visible to everyone. So if you on 1A, for instance, the lettering is an acrylic lettering, and in talking with the company, they feel that this would be the longest lasting of the materials. And I can vouch for that. It was on my Mattis newspaper building for 35 years and we never touched it. So the proposal is to do individual cutout letters made of acrylic, and then the letters are painted, and we're proposing a nice bronzy darker gray color, so it really goes with the finish of the gymnasium. The letters would be 1/4 of an inch thick, and then they would be mounted 1/2 of an inch on studs away from the wall. So each letter is individually installed. And then as per our discussion with Matt, that beautiful shrubbery would be removed on a day when Matt feels like he wants to tackle the backhoe. And so that shrubbery would be removed, and the landscaping, which Matt says you currently have supplies in. So the shrubbery would match what you have at the swimming pool. So, and then the sign company would take care of a portion of it, but then the school district would finish off the uplighting onto the sign through the landscaping, which would be very minimal, my understanding is. And so that's pretty much it for the signage itself. The consensus through the McWilliams family was either 1A or 1B, and both 1A and 1B are both acrylic letters, just that 1B has a bit of a metallic overlay to the paint, so it appears to be a little bit more metallic-y, but both instances have a clear laminate top layer. And then the third proposal is 1C, which that is actually metal etched lettering. So that is also a possibility. You have also a sign that says not an entrance. The sign company just threw that in because there was discussion of you're not using that door, but after talking with Matt, that door will be used. So that would come off of the proposal. That was just a little add-in that they threw in there. I'm not quite sure why, but and then the bronze plaque, which is page 6, is 11 by 14 in size. And to me, this is probably the most important aspect of it because it gives a little bit of the background and history as to why you are dedicating the building to Carrie. And this is my personal opinion, but I find that a lot of times organizations do things and name people and dedicate things. And then in generations to come, there is no why and how come that was done and no meaning to it. So I really feel that this bronze plaque really depicts Carrie's character and the reason why you have taken this and dedicated the gymnasium to him. So that being said, Casey, you want to say anything?
Well, thank you for putting me on the spot. I was not expected to speak, so it's okay. But we really took a lot of time to go over the different options for the signage. And I really think that what we have proposed are some pretty good options. And I think, and I hope that you take everything into consideration and hopefully make the best possible choice for the signage for the gymnasium. I'm hoping that this process can move along sooner than later. We're hoping to get in 2024 some sort of dedication event to honor my dad. So getting everything together and showing off the building dedicated to him would be fantastic. So thank you so much. Well, my mom and I took we went to City Signs and kept asking them for samples, which it's a signage place, but they didn't have a lot of samples. So I think we kind of shocked them by asking for things to take with us. So they're kind of like looking in the back for any kind of scraps that they had. So I think that I think 1B, 1A is the paint, the acrylic covered in metallic paint. And that gives a nice sheen without being too shiny. The acrylic with the metallic laminate, any kind of metallic, if we put it on top of the building itself, we kind of held it up and took turns looking, and it can be a little bit too shiny almost. So I think with the metal signage, which is 1C, that might be a little bit too much sheen for an evening with the sun shining on it. But I think 1A and 1B are our favorite options. And you're welcome. They're the least expensive of the three. So yes. So 1A or 1B, I think is our favorite so far.
I asked the same thing, okay, Dawn, and they don't have a preference, 1A or 1B, whatever is your perusal.
Yes.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. And I did not finish what I was gonna say. We would love to have this done for some time within the girls' basketball season. And in talking with Kathy, as you all know too, Carrie did not want a celebration of life, and so there were no services. But this we would love to have on a Saturday at the gymnasium and invite the community to really celebrate his accomplishments and to celebrate the fact that you have decided to honor him in this way. And so we'd love to have, have there be a dedication ceremony, invite the community. We have someone who has volunteered to barbecue linguiça, so we're going to have linguiça sandwiches and do all that. And so we would love for the board to approve this signage, to find a way to manipulate it in your budget. And then the committee will take care of the rest. But we just really feel that this would finish off finish off the project and really have it be a wonderful dedication to Carrie and his service to this district. So, one more thing, we did discuss at some point, and so this is totally something off that was not discussed in here at all. But again, I am a fan of historical value and the reasons why you do things. And so there was some discussion at one point of having a trophy case inside of the gymnasium with some of Carrie's memorabilia, maybe some of his plays, some of the nets that came off the wall and some things like that, that would really kind of tell his story of all of his time within the school district. So that would be something, if you are open to that, that we would raise monies for, and they're really not that expensive. Little did I know that you can buy them on Amazon now. So can't you find everything on Amazon? So we would love to entertain that idea. And in addition, I just feel that the gymnasium is kind of centrally located within the athletic facilities. It may not be a bad idea to consider including Paletto and Mary Beth Moorhead in that picture, so that people visiting the facilities can kind of look at their story and see why they were so amazing within the district. So just thought that's out there. We'd love to do that as well. I know this is a lot to ask of you, but I hope you will definitely consider our proposals. So if you have any other questions?
So is this the spot you guys originally wanted?
Yes, yes.
There was no other spot like on the gym?
There was one spot. Kathy McWilliams had actually asked about putting it south facing, if you're looking at the gym and with the circle south facing on the right hand corner. But in discussion with Matt, that would have to go to the state, to the architect's office, because it would be through,
What was the question?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
I thought it would have been good on the gym, but I
yes,
get it.
so there was that. And then the other question is, then do you see it when you drive in the driveway? And you don't really, so you've got to be looking up high. So that kind of told us where it needed to go,
Okay.
actually. Anything else?
Susan,
Yes.
I have a couple questions.
Sure, absolutely.
I love the plaque. And to me, the plaques are much more important because Terry McWilliams in 30 years
Right.
may not be known.
Exactly.
So the plaque to me is like far more important. And I only knew him while I was on the board. So, but to me, the lettering on that wall is just so large. I've been to, grade school, high school, colleges. That is a big set of lettering. It's kind, to me, I don't like it that big. And Carrie, I know, and I know we have I think we have the floor in the gym done already.
Yeah,
Correct.
Matt Court, yes.
And I don't mind, I like what it says, but to me, it's way too big. So, it's just personal. I don't like big things.
I think it should be bigger, but that's just me. Should go in the gym, but I get it.
That's your discussion. We can certainly go back, to the company and do any revisions with it that you ask.
Yes.
And just to go on that, usually I like to go based on comps. So my mom and we drove around Patterson, Gustine, and we looked at similar buildings with maybe named after people, maybe with a certain type of lettering. And that's kind of on the average size. There is bigger lettering. So we did look around first before we even called City Signs to see. And I mean, I understand your concerns about that, but if you look at other buildings, the signage is very similar in the size.
Where is the plaque?
So plaque's gonna
Placement.
be on the true entrance, which is
Oh, okay.
facing south,
Okay.
facing south, the double doors.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Yeah.
I was,
Yeah, the plaque is by the new entrance on the walkway.
oh, okay.
Yes, so when those doors open, the plaque is still visible, but is actually centered on that wall right underneath the center window to the right-hand side of the doors.
Okay, I have a question too.
Sure.
How much for the uplighting you were saying?
The now,
Yeah.
So one of the things that we're blessed to have in our maintenance and operations department is the ability to, when we go out to buy lighting, whether it be for classrooms or parking lot lightings, we usually get a pretty good state discount on those purchases. And what I'd plan to do is we're going to be buying some package lighting for some of our portables over at Ursimba High School. And with that purchase, I'd like to buy 2 500-watt halogen landscape lights that the whole goal is that you don't see the light, you see what they uplight. And I think the signage, especially, it gets dark now at 5 o'clock. There's a lot of events that take place in the Ursimba gym well past 9 o'clock. I think lighting up of the sign is much more cost effective than if they would have gone through the process of purchasing a lighting package that had backlighting. That's actually very expensive to have individual LED lights behind the lights. So the plan is just to uplight it from the flower bed. The estimated cost for a district would be $500. The landscaping would be under $100 because we have some leftover materials from the pool project.
Okay, and then in the documentation, it said that the committee, the expenses would be incurred by the members of the committee and the contributions from the community. How much has been raised toward this 7,000?
that actually is for anything to do with the dedication that day. We have not at this time done any fundraising for the signage.
Okay. So, so I'm looking at the 2 pages, Susan, and the first page had $6,436.57.
Correct.
The second one is $7,263.49. So that's for metal versus.
Yes, metal
acrylic.
versus the acrylic. So 1A and 1B would be for the 6,436. And out of that, you could also deduct $200, be right around $194.94, 95 cents, because they included that aluminum sign in their proposal that says not an entrance. So that would come off of this. Yeah, and the proposal is done at prevailing wage, so which is required, yeah.
Okay, so it's just the gathering and the expenses.
Correct. Yes, anything incurred with that.
So we have
Roughly
the
landscaping,
the
mhm.
lighting.
So approximately $6,700. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I tried to read the plaque and.
I'm sorry.
No,
Yeah.
no, it's okay. It's okay.
I
mean,
may, let
yeah.
me see. Let me see if I have a copy of what I sent them. Yes, in recognition of his many contributions to the Newman-Crows Landing Unified School District, Mr. Mack served as an educator, coach, administrator, and mentor to thousands of students and remembered the names and faces of every single one. He was a lifelong education leader who served with immeasurable style, love, good humor, and respect.
Okay, now you were saying, I kind of agree with the plaque because people tend to forget.
Yes, yes.
But you were talking about Mr. Palmetto and Mrs. Bell, how.
Moorhead. And
Moorhead, I'm sorry,
I'm just saying as a thought process to approach their families, and you know, and just in discussion with people we feel we could get donors to do this. But to honor them in an additional way with having a display inside of the gymnasium that kind of tells their story. Like with Paletto and Moorhead, you know, the signs are there, naming the
field.
facilities, right? But it doesn't really say why, you know, and I'm a really big fan of that. So that's my only thought process with that, is that I think it just lends a lot to the admiration that you had for these people. Do you have more? Anything?
Well. So yeah, actually, there's an action item 9E where we will come back to your motion.
Anything else? Thank you all. So thank you very, very much.
Thank you, Ms. Lynn. Matt, would you like to come? Mrs. Mendoza's going to give us the facilities.
Good evening. While I'm waiting for Edward to load the slide presentation. I would like to just give Matt Vargas a shout out, because a lot of these facilities, the way they are is because of him and his team. So. Okay, so thank you, Mr. Cope. I stole one of your slides. Our first project is right outside the window. These are some of the earlier photos from pouring the foundation for the new administration multipurpose room at Von Renner. And now they've gone on to, they poured the stage a couple of weeks ago, and this is the foundation of the floor. You can see kind of how massive it is. I think framing is supposed to start this week, if I'm not mistaken. We have done some painting projects this year. Grace mentioned the band room. It turned out really, really nicely. McConnell building will be painted in the spring of 2024 once we have the colors for the Von Renner project, so it's a seamless transition as we go across. We also painted the Family Resource Center building right out here, and as you can see, it looks much nicer now that it matches all the other ones. We've done some deferred maintenance projects, a lot of carpet replacement. We're going to be working on the S wing at YOLO over Thanksgiving break and probably into Christmas break. There's several classrooms that are going to be replaced. We've done some fencing, and I have some photos of that. We did a fencing project at Alternative Ed, and that really kind of changed the dynamic of that campus. We made a kind of a play yard for the students. There was an outdoor space that they had a basketball hoop, but that was pretty much it. Now it's an enclosed space where they can do some lining for some other sports set up once the students kind of have a voice in what they'd like to have out there. It's also separated West Side from Foothill, so it's made it two distinct areas, and then and increase the security there. We are looking at a proposal for lockers for the boys and girls locker rooms. We're looking at possible replacement and or repairs to the existing lockers. We have an opportunity to pick up a set of about 106 new lockers at quite a substantial discount. So we're looking into making that happen. We continue to do heating ventilation projects. As they go out, they are usually replaced rather quickly. And then Hunt and Von Renner got new carpet as well. So this is, you can see the transformation for Alternative Ed. This building was also painted. So it's got a fresh coat of paint. You can see Foothill on the top right is now separate from West Side. It's got a new railing, it's got a new fence, and so it's complete, they can use the lawn area. We did the middle fence on the lower left, which basically lets the maintenance department still use the front end and get into the maintenance office, which on the side, and deliveries can go in there. But it protects the students from any kind of traffic. We converted the student union at the high school into office spaces because we needed some itinerant service offices. And so the reconfiguration added 6 workstations and a conference room that will work for up to 10 people. So you can kind of see the offices. It came out really nice. They put carpet and it looks like a really nice office suite in there. Because we took the cafeteria option out of the student union, we had to put another point of sale somewhere. So we looked at a lot of options, and one option that we really liked was about $80,000, and we thought we don't like it that much. So we looked at a storage container, and we will have this painted, the signs will come off, but it has a roll-up door in the front, which we'll use as a surface window. It has a full roll-up door on the opposite end. It has the walk-in door on this side. It has a roll-up door. We can store barbecue equipment out there, and that'll be a really great option for students to have another point of sale area. And we're looking at that probably in January, if not before.
A question. When it gets hot in the summer, will that be like an oven?
No, there's
nothing-
ventilation.
Oh,
They put ventilation in there. They put electrical, and we'll have wireless access points. Oh, and there will be an air conditioner inside.
good, because it could be.
Yeah, no, we put, it's vented, so there will be air circulation in there as well. So we made some stadium improvements as well. You all saw the pool, and so we couldn't leave the stadium out. We repainted the goalposts. We purchased a stencil to prepare the field for home games. I had no idea it took as long as it did because they were marking it by hand every time they had with garden hoses and 2x4s, I believe. And so they bought a stencil, and now they can get it done in no time. We finished off the open lot with crushed almond and walnut shells for dust control. So that's right west of the pool. And then the press box got new flooring, which it desperately needed. Does anybody have any questions? These are just some of the ongoing projects, but Matt and his crew have been very busy. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Mendoza. I can't imagine doing that football field by hand. Mr. Vargas, this awards.
Good evening. Superintendent Philpott, Board President Conforti, and all of the members of our school board. I want to start this evening by thanking each and every one of you for attending tonight's special moment over at the high school. Opening that swimming pool and seeing the ribbon cutting means the world to me, and I know to not only our staff and our students, but also this community. So thank you for your ongoing support during the entire process. I want to start by giving a little bit of background of what the FIT award is and what it means. The annual FIT inspection has been developed by OPSC. That's the Office of Public School Construction, and it determines if a school facility is in good repair. It's also part of our annual Williams Act inspections. Many of you have heard of Williams, and that occurs within the first 30 days of school. This year, I had the opportunity to walk all 7 of our schools, and I usually take the lead custodian of each campus with me. They're there to see some of the things that are highlighted in the report as far as the FIT, which stands for the Facility Inspection Tool. Our ongoing challenge district-wide for our maintenance and custodial team is to maintain and improve our facilities' functionality despite the heavy use that they're endured with every single day. I try to use the example of Imagine if 800 students walked into your living room every day. Imagine if all of those 800 students used your restroom. It would require some maintenance, and our teams do a wonderful job of keeping that up. The fit inspection is really just the report card of how we're doing. And the overall assessment this year for all of our schools is good. We did have one school that was in the exemplary category, and I'll be sharing a little more about that in just a moment. The FIT Award was established by Mr. Philpott in 2015. This is our 9th year, and I'm very excited to present this year's winners. With a round of applause, in third place, Von Renner Elementary School. Von Renner's score this year was a 97.24. In second place with a score of 98.44, Bonita Elementary. And before I announce the winner, I just want to share something very interesting. Every school now with 9 years of awards has won the FIT Award, except for the school that I'm about to announce. Some of you may know who that school is just by a process of elimination. Some of you may not know that this school actually received, I believe it's 3 years of perfect scores, 100%. However, to win the FIT Award, the goal is to be the most improved school with regard to facilities. So for the first time, and I'm sure not the last, I would like to present this year's FIT Award with a score of 97 or 99.27 to Hurd Barrington Elementary. So at this time, I'd like to ask Wadeen Van Ruler and Kavita, would you like to, is that Kavita? Oh, Kavita didn't make it tonight. Okay, so Wadeen, this award is for you to display in your office for the next year. Until, we have to reclaim it back, but congratulations to you and your campus. Your custodians do an amazing job.
They do.
I also want to give a shout out to not only our maintenance team, but very specifically our lead custodian over at Hurd Barrington is it is John Cruikshank. Our night custodian is Delmar Oliveira. They both do a great job, and this FIT Award is very competitive, and I want to share one of the reasons why with all the custodial and maintenance teams. Every year, it's my honor as maintenance director to purchase lunch for the winners of the FIT. So this year, both Delmar and John will be having lunch on me at Subway, along with a little bit of a payday. So I'm going to present that to Wadeen. If you could take this back. I know they couldn't be there tonight, but congratulations.
Mrs. Mendoza, we're going to hear about the Board National Purchasing Cooperative Agreement.
Yes, Board was brought to my attention through CSBA. And it's a purchasing cooperative partnership, and it offers access to negotiated bids for a wide variety of products and services that we can access without having to go to a formal bid. So that'll save us a lot of time and hopefully some money. So opting in didn't cost anything. We just had to sign an agreement. So I wanted to bring that to your attention.
Thank you. That's good. It saves us money. The consent calendar items are routine in nature and usually do not require board discussion. Individual items may be removed by board members and presented for discussion and separate action. The consent calendar will be adopted by a roll call vote. May I have a motion to accept the consent calendar?
I'll make a motion.
Is that Frank?
Second.
A second? Tim? Okay, Mr. Bizarre?
Aye.
Mr. Cabral?
Aye.
Mrs. Hurst?
Aye.
Mr. Rivas?
Aye.
And Mrs. Forty votes aye, pass 5-0. Action items, adopt annual organizational meeting date set for December 11th, 2023 at 4:30 p.m. May I have a motion? No? May I have a second?
I'll second.
Mr. Bazar,
Aye.
Mr. Cabral, Mrs. Hurst,
I,
Mr. Rivas,
Aye.
Mrs. Conforti votes aye. Oh, sorry. Approve resolution 23-24/04, board acknowledgement of Beyond Bond Authority. Motion,
I'll make the motion. I'll second.
Mr. Bazar,
Aye.
Mr. Cabral.
Aye.
Mrs. Hurst,
I,
Mr. Rivas.
Aye.
Mrs. Conforti votes aye. Approval of resolution 23-24/05 to appoint district representatives for submittal of eligibility and funding applications for the Office of Public School Construction. No, that's Mrs. Windows.
Yes, this resolution is, we have to do it annually so that we provide signers to the OPSC so that they know who is eligible to sign on the district's behalf. And that way we can submit funding applications for construction projects.
May I have a motion?
I'll motion it.
May I
I'll
have a
second. I'll second.
Mr. Bazar,
Aye.
Mr. Cabral,
Aye.
Mrs. Hurst,
I,
Mr. Rivas.
Aye.
And Mrs. Conforti votes aye. Approve 2023 school comprehensive safety plans. That was a lot of reading. May I have a motion?
I'll motion.
A second?
I'll second.
Mr. Bazar,
Aye.
Mr. Cabral.
Aye.
Mrs. Hurst,
I,
Mr. Rivas,
Aye.
Mrs. Conforti votes aye. 5-0. Select and approve Oristemba High School, Carrie McWilliams signage. A motion?
I'll make a motion.
And, I favor the motion, but are we going with 1A?
Whatever they
That
want.
looks great.
I know, I'm gonna say it's 1A.
I think 1A looks nice.
1A, 1A. Casey, 1A. Yeah.
1A. So you're second.
Yeah, I'll second that. Or,
Okay, Mr. Bazar,
aye.
Mr. Cabral.
Aye.
Mrs. Hurst,
this is kind of a hard one because, I like to acknowledge people. However, I'm gonna preface my no vote on this because when I read this, I thought that it was being paid for by the community and I misread, so it's no.
Mr. Rivas,
Aye.
and I also go along with, I thought it was going to be paid by the community, not the district, so I vote no. Okay, so it passes 3-2. 3-2-0. Accept Measure X Citizens Oversight Committee and Annual Report. Mrs. Mendoza.
Yes, I met recently with the Measure X Oversight Committee and to report out on projects that have been funded through Measure X and to prepare an annual report. This is the first report for Measure X. Or no, it's actually the second one. So we did the annual report a little bit differently so that we're gonna put it on the website as a video instead of just a kind of a boring paper summary. So my thing is not working. There we go. So I did a lot of photographs and just a little bit of text instead of doing a full-on narrative. So in 2022-23, we completed the Oristemba Pool, tennis courts and entrance project, and we began the Von Renner Elementary multipurpose room and TK modernization. So the purpose of the oversight committee is just to validate that the project expenditures are appropriate for that funding. So we included the scope of the pool and the Oristemba project with the original sketches from which show the pool, the tennis courts and the parking lot reconfiguration. And then also the configuration of the pool building. And then we included some construction photos. And then the construction progress photos from the front entrance. And then a little bit of the tennis court. And then the final surfacing. So then we also added the lawn area by the gym to finish off that project. Okay, now I'm stuck again. There we go. So yeah, the last one was kind of as you saw it today. So then we move on to the Von Renner projects. And there was not a lot of activity last year. We were just getting started. So even though there's a lot more happening after July 1st, we have to kind of stick to the confines of last school year. So I included the conceptual drawing of what we're looking at and how it will eventually fit into the campus. And then kind of where we were up until most recently. Oops, I'm too fast. So in the oversight committee report, we always have to kind of show the costs and the financial part. So I did one quick slide with the expenditures. Other than that, it's a little more interactive and a little more visual and fun way to see the projects come together.
So if we were to go on the website, just see
We-
that series of slides go through,
Yeah, there's a link to the video.
and the video is the slide.
Mhm.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay.
Mrs. Mendoza, when is Von Renner supposed to be finished if the weather is nice to us?
I believe it'll be open for the fall of 24.
Oh, so a year from, no.
So we should be moving in at least to this building. I'm not sure about the classrooms because that'll be the kind of the
Right.
second phase. But they will be moving the offices probably toward the end of next summer.
And the cafeteria?
Same.
Oh, good. That'll be good. Thank you.
Mhm.
May I have a motion? May I have a motion to accept Measure X Citizens Oversight Committee Annual Report?
I'll make a motion.
A second?
I'll second it.
Mr. Bazar?
Aye.
Mr. Cabral?
Aye.
Mrs. Hurst?
I,
Mr. Rivas?
Aye.
And Mrs. Forty votes aye. Future agenda items, spotlight is going to be Barrington. And then we have an organizational meeting and a board self-evaluation and first intern and developer fee report. And Mr.
Just back to the future agenda items. One of the things we're kind of working on is there was a recommendation to honor former trustee Snodderly for his being a veteran on our board, and but we're still trying to get a hold of him and also Chance Condon. So if we cannot in time, what I'm going to suggest is that maybe the board consider that to be a standing presentation, maybe for all of our veterans or possibly employees of our district every November.
That would be.
Okay, that might be an easier fit to do. But in terms of my report, obviously, many of you were there for the ribbon cutting. That was an exciting moment. It was fun to see the actual fruition of all those plans that were made a number of years ago. Also, I know that I had mentioned to the board in my Friday memo, the last Friday memo, that we're meeting with our site administrators this Thursday to talk about what types of things they might need for safety issues at their sites as a result of the Knowledge Saves Lives lockdown training that occurred this last week. And so we'll be going through that. And as soon as we get an idea of that, we'll get back to you on what's being recommended. I also want to point out that in addition to all the awards that Von Renner got tonight, accolades, well deserved, that the artwork that's outside is actually and inside is actually Von Renner artwork. So congratulations on that. And I also want to give a shout out to Dig Pink. And I think Angie, you're still here. I understand that we raised over $20,000 this year. So congratulations, shout out to Angie Makovich and Vicky and Van and Carly Felber were a big part of that. So thank you very much. A great opportunity there. Thank you.
Mr. Bizarre.
I just wanted to acknowledge our football team and the success they've been having. I can tell that they're successful because I live near the stadium and I have old dogs, or at least one old dog that's scared of the cannon. So these last few weeks, I had to call Mr. Pruitt and ask if it was a home game or a home playoff. And as you have seen in this, scores that were reported in the newspaper, we've been winning by a tremendous amount, but that means a lot of cannon fire. And so I just have to stay home with my old dog and sort of reassure her that, the world's not coming to an end. It's okay. Everything's good. But again, I will put up with that, and I hope that they have continued success. The next game is not going to be a home game though, so I won't have to worry about that unless there's some other round that goes on after that. Over and over again. Anyway, I just acknowledging the football team.
Mrs. Hurst.
I remember the night that I think Angie brought up the t-shirt to me that had my name on it for Dig Pink. So every year when I get that little corsage, I keep thinking I'm going to keep it alive long enough to bring it to the next board meeting, but it didn't work. Okay. But I still have that t-shirt, and that's the one that I wore that evening. So thank you very much. And I appreciate not only your efforts with all of that, but the fact that we won every game. Yes. Every game. So, yes.
Mr. Rivas.
To be fair, Tim, Mr. Loudon told him to stop the cannon about the second quarter, so.
Oh, okay.
No, he did. It was supposed to be more. And,
I heard a number.
oh, no, yeah, they cut back. You guys have enjoyed Thanksgiving? It's next week. Enjoy the break. And I'm happy to report I survived my first field trip to the zoo. Okay. I had 10,000 steps before 9 o'clock, just letting you guys know. But it was fun.
Yeah.
Present. Other than that, happy holidays. Have a good Thanksgiving. See you guys when you get back.
Mr. Cabral. No, thank you. Have a very happy and safe Thanksgiving. If you're traveling, be careful and come back safe. And you only have 2.5 weeks, and then you have Christmas. So have a good day. Enjoy. Thank you. May I have a motion?
I'll make a motion that we adjourn. 7:08. Any students need to come up, we'll sign.
Yep.
Second?
I'll second it.
Okay, thank you. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
I